Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Refuge from Narcissism, and this refugee video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Dear Ollie, I just wanted to let you know we believe for Charlene's complete recovery. I know you are probably receiving lots of advice from people who care about you both, but I just wanted to add my own. Vitamin C, the Wonder cheap vitamin. She's taken plenty of that, believe me. Yeah, I mean, we know about that one. Please listen to Dr. Andrew Saul on YouTube. He is a scientist, not a medical doctor. He has a website and and a wealth of information on the benefits of high dose vitamin C, among other vitamins. I've listened to and read a lot on the subject. He is one of the best. Honest, matter of fact, and not a hard sell. He just presents the info, and the rest is up to you. If you decide to buy, please go to a vitamin store such as Nutrition Smart or the Vitamin Shop. I personally use capsules or of buffered or low acidic vitamin C, easy on the tummy. Some benefits: supports immune system, helps fight disease, documented to cure cancer, helps with stress, anxiety, and depression, improves tissue health, bones, muscles, joints, helps with healing, healthy skin, anti-aging, helps cognitive ability such as memory and mental clarity, improves heart health, increases energy, improves oral health, gums, etc. Powerful antioxidant, supports healthy hormones. Ollie, you're back on YouTube full time, and we're happy to see you here. You are needed here. Narcissism is an epidemic of massive proportions and is a very strong implicator in domestic violence, which is at an all-time high. Maybe it's time for you to get those t-shirts and hats done for us. I look into it. I've looked into it. It's I just don't. It's just not conducive. I wish it was. It's just not. If the channel gets big enough where it is, I hope it does. There are some people who use this as their main source of income. If your followers like all your videos, subscribe and share. That helps your platform a lot. If you don't have an Instagram or Facebook site, maybe it's time. As a creator, that's another great source of income. It's also a huge source of narcissism. I shut down my Facebook exists only for people to contact me for. I don't post anything on it. I find Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. They're poison. They're poison sites. Not that YouTube is much better, but because it's all changed and what YouTube started as and what it is now. Same with Facebook. If I had built what I already have on YouTube, had it built already on Facebook, then maybe. But Facebook and Instagram is not going to let a channel like mine and content like mine survive. No, I will get banned. I will get deplatformed. I will get debanked. And I've said this a million times. My biggest concern is being debanked, where the banks don't let you use them. PayPal kicks you off, and they do it all the time for having the wrong opinions, for having opinions like mine. Instagram and Facebook are poison. Snapchat is poison. Tumblr is poison. TikTok is poison. If you've already have a following over there, then maybe you can kind of survive for a while, but they take out the big accounts over there too if they don't like what you're saying. My goal is to get more people onto Rumble. Start using Rumble more. Charlene and yourself make such a great team. You guys could just plow away at this and grow this thing even more and more people being added to the abuse list every day, and they are going to need this information. Having said that, I would like to say my personal thank you, because your information has truly helped me. My journey began over 10 years ago, and I really did not know what I was up against. My story may not be for everyone, but it will be for people like me who are Christians, believers in Jesus Christ. Because what I came to learn is that the church was not prepared to help me. So when I made a decision to leave the marriage, it was after I exhausted trying to get help from the church. It's a very, very common story, because most people in the church don't actually believe in Jesus Christ, don't actually believe in God. They use religion as their weapon. They use it. They see themselves as God. They don't see God as more important than them. They see themselves as God. And that's not to say that the teachings of Christianity aren't correct and I don't believe them. I do. The churches are corrupt. The churches, the clergies are corrupt. The Pope is corrupt. The papacy, whatever you call it, has been corrupt for years. People were able to get back to it because of John Paul II. Pope John Paul II saved Christianity, okay? Put off the death of Christianity by about 30 years. It's not to say it was perfect. I know about all the sex abuse. Believe me. But as far as the Catholic Church being where it is now, basically being decimated, okay, that happened a lot sooner without John Paul. It just would have. I believe in the teachings. I don't believe in the church, because they're all full of shit and they're all corrupt with their big fucking hats and their gold and their silk. Jesus was flipping over change tables. Okay, and these guys, to honor him, are gold staffs and hats and silk and little boys. So no, you're not. And no, and I'm straining to think of one person on my channel where they said their church saved me. Sometimes you get some help after some prodding and some back and forth, but it's never gets you where you want to go. Not that Christianity can't get you where you want to go, or the followings of Jesus can't get you where you want to go, but you're not going to get it in those foundations of institutional failure called the Catholic Church. They're just houses of social and economic and political failure, those houses. Those churches with stained glass windows. Okay, my story may not be for everyone, but it will be for the people like me who are Christians, believers in Jesus Christ. Because what I came to learn is the church was not prepared to help me. So when I made a decision to leave the marriage, it was after I exhausted trying to get help from the church. I got real quiet, prayed, and asked God for a way out. And boy, did he help me. He gave me a therapist who was very aware of narcissistic personality disorder, and she was not a Christian. And it's not even about the religion. It's just about being able to find an actual therapist who they say they do. They all throw narcissism, these therapists, these psychologists, in their description. When you're looking at them and researching them online, they're not. And a lot of them are not. And you're going to know very, very early on. And I've said this, I am not anti-therapist. I am not anti-psychologist. I'm not anti-therapy. I'm very, very, very pro-therapy. But you have to find a therapist who actually understands the disorder. And too many of them just don't. They just don't understand it. They don't get it. They become infatuated. A lot of them are become fascinated by it. A lot of them are narcissists themselves and borderlines themselves. Then God shipped him off to another state. Then I found an attorney after the first one proved to be no good, who was a psychologist prior to becoming a divorce attorney and was not a Christian. And I got one of the best divorce results I could ever have hoped for. Then I discovered my mother was also a malignant covert narcissist. Boy, was I in for the journey of my life. Well, exactly. Well, if you're going to end up, like, you don't just end up in an abusive marriage and a physically and emotionally abusive marriage out of a vacuum. It came from somewhere because you had to have been devalued in the first place by somebody in the first place to put up with it. So yeah, you're going to have to, once he's out of your life, great. But why were you with him in the first place is the question. And with your next therapist kind of getting you into your mother, like, oh, I get it. Because my whole pattern of thinking that's probably been burned into my mind since I was a little girl by this woman. You were a huge help for all my Christian friends on this channel. No offense to Ollie, but I had to learn to work past the cursing and chew the meat and leave the bones. I sense you have respect for Jesus because you mention him from time to time, but it really didn't matter after a while. I needed help and you had the information I needed. It's like a doctor. I'm like, do you want a doctor that's going to lie to you in a nice voice or tell you, you're 400 fucking pounds overweight, you fat slob, and if you don't stop, you're going to die? Yeah, I say it harsh and I say it, in ways that that's how I talk. And I say it in a normal, and I say it like this because you're not going to hear it like this from a therapist. Because what my channel offers and what I try to give people is validation. This isn't therapy. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not anything. But what I can do is give you validation, which is very, very, very hard to get in therapy. Because when you're talking to the therapist, you don't know what's going through the therapist's mind. They're usually cold and shut off and you don't know. Therapist isn't going to, as you're telling them a story about your childhood, not going to tell you the same thing that happened to her and her mother or his mother and their kids or their wife. They don't do that. So you're just kind of looking at a fucking blank wall that's asking you questions. Stir up all these emotions and get it all, and then in 45 minutes to an hour, okay, that's all the time we have. And now you're all fucked up for the rest of the week. You're here for validation. You're here to know that you're not alone in these stories, and you hear other people, your story and other people's stories and my stories and whoever's stories. You hear parts of it. You hear the same shit that you thought this couldn't happen to anyone else. Maybe it didn't happen because it's so crazy. Holy shit, I just heard 6 other people with the same fucking story. That's validation. That's what you're seeking. You're seeking on these channels. You need to be seeking validation. Which is why people also turn on me when they don't get them. And when I have to tell them something, hold the mirror up, and they don't hear exactly what they want to hear. They didn't get the validation they wanted. And now I'm there. And now I'm public enemy number 1. That's what, at our core, at the core of somebody who's been abused by narcissists and cluster Bs and borderlines, okay? At our core, we just want our abuse validated. You want your feelings validated. And that's why like people want to get so much fulfillment as well out of videos like this in this channel. Because many times for the first time in their lives, they hear their story and finally they have some validation. That's powerful. So this is what I've learned from my journey, and I trust I am thriving now. And there was a point I didn't even think I would make it. 1, if you're a Christian, you most likely will have to go outside the church for help. 2, if you're Black and do not take it personally when Ollie comments on the Black community. He is right. I am Black. And see, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure with that. And in my mind, I was like, I should bring in, this is also with the Black church, but I didn't want to. But What the black church has done, like the black church is one of the co-conspirators in destroying the black community. That black preacher, the black church, along with the white liberal woman, okay? The white liberal woman, in conjunction with the black preacher, poisoning the black mother, is what destroys the black community. And in the black community, those churches, those houses of worship, those those institutions of political, social, and economic failure sit every 50 feet in the black community. Every 50 feet. And does your preacher, your deacon, your whoever, they live in that community? No. They come driving in and out in their fancy cars and their $2,000 suits, taking all the black community's money on a Sunday, absolving them for whatever, so they can take all your money, take it back to their house in their big house with the pool in the suburbs, and send their kids to public school, to private schools. The church is bad, not Christianity, not the followings of Jesus. I've said this, I don't know how many times. Jesus is awesome. You can debate whether or not he's a deity, the son of God, whatever. His teachings, his followings, what he preached, how he lived was awesome. And it should be somebody everybody looks up to and strives to be like. Does that mean you have to go to one of those failing houses of worship every Sunday and get on your knees and no. That's what they want you to think. No. You will survive. At the risk of sounding religious, I'm here because of Jesus Christ. He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. I prayed and he helped me. He sent me the help I needed when I needed it, and I am still here and helping others. It's a long journey because you just may look around and realize that the people you thought would be there for you will not be, and the people you thought and the people you thought were your friends are not. But as for me, Jesus was the only one who hung around when everyone left, and I mean everyone. Your self-esteem was destroyed was destroyed somewhere along the line. Hold on, it's coming back stronger than ever. And in your case, what you found out, it's your mother, which is in the case of a lot of black women. Okay. Probably maybe another queen bee. Queen bees love the church. Understand, the queen bee loves the church. They love it. 7, one of my favorite Bible verses is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. 8, if your journey is just beginning, hold on to the fact that your feelings are faithful reporters. Do not allow anyone to belittle your feelings. Trust your instincts and know that this too shall pass. Ollie has mad instincts. Send him your story and let him help you. You can remain anonymous. Thanks again, Ollie. Thanks again. Keep up the necessary work you do, Anonymous. Well, thank you very much, Anonymous. That's very nice, and thank you for the advice regarding Charlene. You know, it's when you're validated, you see the light. You had your epiphany. You saw the light. You saw the halo. You've been validated, and now you can see the light. And that's why people come on here, and that's what channels like mine and these type of videos do for people. They're seeking validation. And, you know, I mean, I do. I mean, I believe in Christianity. I believe in it. You know, Are there a lot of stories that are kind of ridiculous? Yeah. Is there interpretation and things that get, this stuff is, transcribed and language differences and like, yeah, I get all that. I get all that, but the fundamental core of it, I believe in. And mixing up the church with actual Christianity or Catholicism is a huge mistake, because the church itself has been destroying everything it's been touching. So when you're validated from your narcissistic abuse, okay, you can see the light. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much, Anonymous, for another story and contribution. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like me to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal or Zelle and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Refuge from Narcissism. Take care.